Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Monday, March 10th. We got Celtics Jazz today. We got some other stuff. We got a bunch of emails to catch up on. So we are here. Sam, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Excited to be up at the game later. You'll see the two of us in the garden later in the episode. We have a ton of fun stuff to talk about. Who is not excited about the Jazz game last night? Before we get into it, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're here every single day with new content. Rest of the pod will be around the NBA. We'll go through your emails, we'll do the rat list. We'll get up out of here. Be a fun show. Make sure you stick around through all of it.
Indeed. We're here, ready to rock. Let's start right over to Celtics Jazz. All right, we are here. Still Monday. I thought it was midnight for a sec because the Lakers game has my time sense in a crunch. But we are here. Celtics get a win over the Jazz. They made it scary, but 114-108 win. Utah made a bunch of shots early in the fourth quarter, made it close. Jaylen Brown helped them close it out after a rough first half. Sam Hauser makes history. Celtics now the only team ever to have 4 different players on their roster hit 9 or more threes in a single game in a single season. He had 33, hit 9 threes. It was incredible. He took 19 threes, which is ridiculous. What a game. Very fun to watch unfold. They made it scary, but then the Garden got really into it. So, I think it made it more interesting, which I like the way they responded to it as well. So a good game, entertaining game that spawned out of one of the most boring games I've watched. So I'll take that as a good thing, but they got the win.
In the words of Justin Turpin, this was a very strong front runner for the butt-ass game of the year, and then it wasn't because the Celtics had that Sam Hauser explosion in the third quarter. That got everybody jumping, and then they pissed everybody off the fourth quarter. Was this game tied? I think they completely allowed this to be tied. And then they had to fight at the end, and they did a great job of fighting. Like, those of you that don't feel super comfortable with them in close games, it's the Utah Jazz, but they did show a very great resolve when things got tight at the end. They didn't melt. They'd already given up quite the run. Utah had a lot of momentum. Celtics did a really good job of stopping that. This was a really good backbone game, bend don't break game with just really, really great shot making from Hauser. And listen, those that are here and are mad about the comeback from Utah, they made all the shots. I think they were 11 of 15 in the fourth quarter at one point. Like, I am the biggest come on here, get angry guy when this shit happens. But this was a big instance of them all of a sudden making 1 billion shots that they were missing the entire night. Like, they were like 5 of 29 from 3 going into the fourth. I think Gary was the one that put that out, and then all of a sudden they started making everything. So I would pump the brakes on being overly upset at the team for letting Utah come back. Be more thoughtful about how they handled the pressure at the end of the game without Tatum to help them close it nonetheless.
Yeah, I know the Jazz were 2 of 17 from 3 at one point, which is a wild number. And John Collins led the way with his awful shooting, and then had
John Collins with 30 shots tonight.
Yeah, took 30 shots. But Jaylen Brown really impressed me. I asked Joe about it after the game and everything. I asked Jaylen about it, and shot 8 of 20, 0 of 5 from 3. Did not have a good game efficiency-wise. But third and fourth quarter comes around, and he's just great in the second half. 4 of 8 from the field, 7 of 8 from the line, 3 steals, 1 block, all in the second half. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. A huge block in transition, playing defense. Like, did everything. It was great. Bless you, Richie.
What a great guy. What a great guy Jack is.
I had
looking out for all the homies. Can't let him sneeze to nothing.
I can't let it go unnoticed. No, I didn't say it. No one else said it. I got
Sounds very on brand.
I got you, Richie. But big plays from Jaylen Brown. Really impressive finish to the game. Now she wants to talk. But I thought it was just like a really professional approach. And Joe Mazzulla was like, yeah, he talks to Tony Dobbins throughout the games, but he's really good at like centering himself and keeping himself focused on the present. Jaylen said, every play is just information. Like, you gather how they're guarding you, how Kessler was guarding me, and you figure it out from there. Like, the way he closed this game is how like superstars close games. Like it didn't seem like much at the time. Like it was all about the moments though. Like even he said like he relishes playing in those moments. Like Jazz making a huge run, Cody Williams in transition as the crowd is like having the air sucked out of it. Boom, huge block. Jazz end up getting the rebound. Collins makes a couple free throws, so it didn't matter. But like, it didn't matter that it didn't matter. It was the moment itself. Like you could, like, the crowd got hyped up. You could tell everything. Like, that gives you the momentum. Next possession, Jaylen Brown goes down, gets a bucket, right? A couple things happen. Celtics get a transition opportunity, or maybe it wasn't transition, but he drives on Kessler, just posters him. Like these are the moments that you're like, okay, yeah, the Celtics are handling business now. And then I wrote it in the article, like, the Sam Hauser 3 at the end of the game, his ninth was the nail in the coffin. But if that was the nail, then the Jaylen Brown poster was the hammer that pushed it in. It's all about the individual moments that lead to a win like this, when you're having to stave off a team that is making a run. A Jazz team, by the way, you just can't decide if it wants to tank or not, which perfectly executed tank by Utah in this one. But shout out to Jaylen Brown for just an incredible finish that I don't know if it's going to get the recognition it deserves, because he didn't have the best statistical game, and Sam Hauser had a monster game from 3, but like, he won this game for the Celtics. Like, he was the reason that they were able to fend off this Jazz run.
Yeah, there's something to this Jaylen game that was really important, which is this is now the second time in the last week we've seen Jaylen be out there without Tatum for the entire night. It's very rare for Tatum to miss time, and when he does, Jaylen has all the eyes on him. He's the focal point of the defense. Obviously, for the Celtics, he's the focal point of their offense. And he didn't handle it well that against Portland. Like, he had a well-rounded game in that game, but he was by no means, like, excellent. He did a good job of not having it be a complete disaster. Tonight was shaping up to be very similar. Had a well-rounded game. What did he finish with? I don't know how many points he had, but he had 8 rebounds, 7 assists, only 3 turnovers, had 3 steals and a block. Like, he did things outside of the scoring, but like you said,
26.
he just had 26. Okay, so he had a very mature approach to the end of the game. He was locked in when it mattered. When they needed him, they needed somebody to get them a bucket when things weren't going well, and he was able to do so. This was a big stretch for Jaylen, because there were going to start to become more and more whispers of, is he really a guy? Is he able to do this if, Tatum's sitting in the playoffs, if he's getting rest during these playoff games? Like, are the Celtics really going to fault from that? Are they going to miss Tatum that much because Jaylen can't pick up the slack? We still don't know the answer to that question yet, but I think tonight is a good, like, solid couple ticks in the no column. Like, more than one tick. It was well executed from Jaylen. I hope I made sense. I just kind of rambled through that.
No, you make sense. He did a great job closing this game as the top guy, and that's what you need from the number one guys. But outside of him, Sam Hauser, obviously, 11 of 23 from the field, 9 of 19 from 3, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, like 1 steal. This is like the actual story of the game. My God, what a ridiculous third quarter he had. He had 7 of 10 from 3 in that third quarter. It's tied for the second most ever attempted in a quarter in NBA history. Those 10 threes. It's tied for the second most threes ever attempted in a game by a Celtic. Number 1 was Marcus Smart in the game, I believe, and he attempted 22. Sam Hauser attempted 19 tonight. Jaylen Brown also has a 19 attempt game. Just incredible. Great work from Sam Hauser after a really rough start from 3 in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the theme of this game. This was like a really weird game because the Celtics were fine when everybody was playing horrible. Like, they got really, really great help from Derek White, and Torrey Craig had a couple big makes in the first half too. Like, Jrue Holiday had a pretty solid game. There were other guys carrying the load when Jaylen and Hauser were both cold. But once those guys turned up, the lead ballooned, and then it didn't, and then they managed to balloon it again at the end of the game and just blow the doors off. Hauser kept his head on his shoulders, and the quotes after the game were great. He was in the locker room speaking to the media, so the two of us, unfortunately, were not there, but he was talking about, he'll miss shots and motherfuck himself. And I do the same thing. Like, I'll miss a shot when I'm playing pickup, and I'll just fucking scream bum or whatever the fuck it is. Like, I always think I should make every shot. And I'm sure if you're in the NBA and you're to the whatever power level shooter I am, you have that times a billion. You think every shot's going in. You think you should make every shot. It's got to be frustrating when it doesn't go in. And Hauser's had a very up and down season. I declared him dead. Ever since I declared him dead, he's been pretty good. But there was a long stretch where he wasn't able to make threes at the level he should. He wasn't really playing defense at the level the team expected of him. And it was clear that the back injury was really hindering him. But this last month or so has been more consistent than he had been. And today was a big showing of like, I can bounce back not only like game to game, but in the middle of a game. And they needed that. Like that was what really helped the Celtics distance themselves, was him getting hot in the third quarter. That was their best quarter in this game by far. The fire-powered offense did it for him, and Hauser was the fuel behind that.
Yeah, just a monster game from Sam Hauser. Got cold when he came back in the fourth quarter, but it wasn't the end of the world at that point. So great work from him. It's weird, like deciding where to go to next, because Derek White had 18, 5 and 10 assists. He had 3 blocks too, but it felt like a pretty quiet game from him despite all that. He was a great job as a connector. I lied. It wasn't a quiet game from Derek White because his 3 blocks were the classic, holy shit, the Jazz are in transition. Just kidding. Derek White just shut down a 3-on-2 fast break or a 3-on-1 fast break. Like that was fun to watch. That was very noticeable. The 10 assists, I think, were the shocking thing to me because it didn't feel like he was the direct, assist guy in this game, but he did a great job being a connector and sort of running the offense a lot, especially when Jaylen was sitting, obviously, because you need someone to step up and be that lead guy when he's out. And they ran some weird lineups with Derek White as the guy, and he did a good job of holding the tide. So give him credit for that. And then the defense is just like, every time there's a fast break and I see Derek White, in front of it, it's just like, all right, GG, just slow it down. Just go to half court offense, bro. You're not gonna make the shot.
Can't blame that take. I would be terrified to try and go up on Derek White. The way he was dialed in tonight was incredible. Had some big blocks, as you said. In the first half, he was really felt, I think. He ended up only shooting 6 of 16 in this game. It wasn't the most efficient Derek game, but in the first half, he was certainly more vociferous when they needed somebody to give them some offense. Both teams were stalling out for a lot of those first 2 quarters, and he was one of the few bright spots in this game. Like, I turned to Bobby Kravitsky upstairs today, and I was just like, it is remarkable that the Celtics are playing a horrible game, and Utah is somehow playing bad enough where they're not making up any ground on the scoreboard. The Celtics just playing like stale offense. They didn't have much going, and just still 45-40 somehow. Nothing going on for Utah. You said it, like perfect tank job from them. Like they entertained everybody. They made it close. They made it interesting. And they ultimately get the result that I would say the front office wants. I wouldn't say the players and coach want it. Also, by the way, Will Hardy rocks. I think I said in the pregame, excellent on the mic, excellent press conference. Picked up a new fan today. He picked up a new fan. Just was very – he just felt so much different than all these other coaches that we've spoken to. And it's pretty nice to have that after Joe, too. Quite polar opposite on the mic, I would say.
You could not possibly have a more different pregame than Will Hardy and Joe Mazzulla. We're talking about the pregame. What's up? Is that actually what you're talking about? They're also talking about this right here, Bobby and Noah. Yeah.
I mean, Will Hardy just giving
pregame
thoughtful answers, taking his time, speaking slowly. Mazzulla, like, acting like you wanted to kill somebody because they asked about his brother who was coaching on the other team. Like, just polar opposites.
Bobby just goes, I was out for a week, and Joe's response to me about his brother was my welcome back present. for context, Bobby Manning before the game asked Joe, like, what's it, how does it feel like your brother on the team? Like what does that mean to you? And Joe just goes, I don't know, he's on the other team. And he knows the fucking answer. But regardless, back to the game. Derek was good. Jrue Holiday, I thought, had a pretty impactful game, considering he's been a little bit off lately because of the mallet finger. 4 of 9, 2 of 5 is fine, but 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. It feels like they're using Jrue Holiday in more unique ways lately. Like instead of just 3-point spot up guy on offense, he's setting a lot of screens. He's rolling into the paint a lot, and they've always used him a little bit in the post and in the dunker spot, but it really feels like they're trying to hone in on that because his shot's probably off. Like he's probably not as confident as a shooter as he has been in the past with the current mallet finger injury. So it's fun to see them start using him, even if it's just a little bit in those different ways. And he's doing a good job at it. And his defense is still sick. He had a great steal in this game to close it out. So good job, Jrue.
Yeah, just ripped the ball right out of the dude's hands at the end.
It's like the Indiana series.
Very, very classy move by Jrue not to lay the ball in when there was nobody within 20 feet of him as he drove into the paint. Just let the clock go out. Jrue Holiday is one of my favorite guys to watch on this team. I just think it's so fascinating that he can have games like he did in the playoffs last year where he's scoring 26 points in game 2 of the finals and having this monster day. And then he'll be out here and take 9 shots and score 10 points and still impact the game in different ways. play a connector role or just defend at a high level. He had some really good defensive possessions in this game, I thought, which was encouraging to see with the playoffs coming up. You know, the guys, specifically Jaylen, after the game talked about like sharpening themselves up this time of year and getting ready and making sure they're rolling heading in. And I think Holiday is a massive part of that. He's had a lot of missed time this year. He had the shoulder thing. He hasn't been shooting quite at the same level as people would expect him to be. And having missed time with the mallet finger, not to say he couldn't condition himself, but I was very curious to see how he would hold up defensively. And, you know, obviously he's a year older. And I think those same questions loom with Kristaps, who, for those that didn't see it, tweeted mid-game and was like, hey, I'm sick. They don't know whatever sickness I have. They don't know what it is. I'm feeling all right. I appreciate the support. Hoping to be back soon. Hauser after the game was like, yeah, I think he might be back Wednesday, which I don't know if I buy that. But anyways, the point is having everybody as sharp as they can possibly be is going to be important. The Celtics have roughly a month left of regular season games to play, and getting those guys ready to go is going to be important, even if it results in growing pains like we saw in the middle of the season. Obviously, it won't be very fun to talk about the team in that stretch if they're just losing games and everyone's kind of pulling the alarms like, man, the playoffs are about here. Why are they doing this now? But it may be what's necessary to make sure somebody like Porzingis is comfortable again.
Yeah, Kristaps not quite back yet. Also not quite back yet. Us on PrizePicks. Lost again before the game, but that doesn't mean you can't be back on PrizePicks. And I encourage everyone here. Best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars in award winnings. It's made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You can win up to 1,000x your cash. I don't think Sam and I got our PrizePicks. I'll live check here for the ad read. Just to tell you guys how we probably lost again on PrizePicks. You didn't have to tell me that. You
didn't make any threes.
You could have let me have hope for another couple seconds, but I appreciate you letting me Jaylen didn't make any threes. Colin Sexton had 16 points, did not get the more of 6.5, and Luke Cornett did not get the 8.5 points we needed him to get, but Jrue and Derek came through. But regardless, make sure to go check out PrizePicks. It's available in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Florida, and right here in Massachusetts. PrizePicks offers weekly promotions as well. Can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, player discounts. Select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Jason Tatum says people call him Taco. So if there's any time to download PrizePicks, it's for that connection alone. That was a stretch, but I went with it. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Back to Porzingis. Did tweet out mid-game saying, hey, I'm dealing with a viral illness. They can't figure out what it is. But then you hear Joe Mazzulla say, yeah, he's getting closer, and Sam Hauser saying, he's feeling better, and Kristaps saying he's like trying and whatever. Like, it is a weird thing. Kristaps even said, like, oh yeah, I'm playing. He put it on his Instagram story. He said like that he was going to play in the Lakers game, and then he didn't. So it's this weird thing. Will he be back? I don't know. If I had to guess, it's probably relatively soon, but it is kind of suspicious and not great that they cannot figure out what is wrong with him.
Definitely not good. I would not get my hopes up for him playing on Wednesday. I'm just saying that right now. This is a massive game, like the biggest remaining game in the regular season. I don't think that he's going to come back and rush out there. Not to say like I'm concerned about him rushing off sickness. Like, I mean, as long as he's in condition, I don't really care. It's not like you can't like re-injure sickness by playing basketball. If anything, moving around might help you out a little bit. But I don't think that's the day to test his conditioning and be like, oh yeah, let's see if Kristaps can give it a go today. We'll see if he's ready. That's just a really big ask. I mean, we heard him after he came back against the Clippers this year saying he felt like he had a flat tire out there. It really was like a shell shock moment to be back out there and a full speed NBA game. Like, that's no joke. It's not like going to practice and getting your shots up. And I mean, we saw him shooting on Saturday. He was out shooting before the game. So he's able to move around and stuff. It's just really weird the way that this is all unfolded. Like, I feel like if Kristaps was going to come back, like today would have been the day, kind of give him a tune-up game before a bigger game with more eyes on it. I don't know. I mean, if I'm the Celtics, I don't force him to play on Wednesday.
Listen, I don't think it's a forcing thing, but There's nobody on this planet who loves a dramatic WWE entrance more than that man. So if there were a time, big game, big spot, national TV, there were a time he would want to come back. It would make sense. But I agree. Give him the time to rest. There's really no rush. It does not matter at all.
I mean,
looking at
on the same note, like just thinking about game 1 of the finals, whereas maybe the best thing we've ever seen from Kristaps was after he didn't play for months or however long it was. Like he was out forever and came right back. He was fine. Might have been adrenaline. Maybe adrenaline helps in a game like Wednesday. We'll leave it at that, though. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Looking at the rest of the team, Luke Cornett was fine. Stepped up with Allen Porzingis out in this game. Tatum out, Porzingis out, by the way. I don't even think we mentioned that. He had 5 and 8, 2 steals, a block. He was fine. Peyton Pritchard, pretty inefficient, but did whatever he needed to do, I guess. Shireman played. I thought he looked pretty good on defense. Shireman had some great passes that did not turn into assists. Threw a great oop to Jaylen. Jaylen dropped it midair. Threw a great pass to 3. I forget who it was. It might have been Derek. Missed the shot. So he got scanned a little bit. Still played all right. Torrey Craig was fine. 2 or 3 from 3. Made his shots, which was a nice change. Nemi was 4-4, 8 and 8. I didn't think he was very good. he had a few we should call it unsightly moments, turnovers, misplacements on defense. He's had better games, I'll put it that way, but I'll let you pick and choose where you want to go.
I really enjoyed the Shireman showing today. That I'll jump on the positivity train with. I thought Shireman, like you said, threw some great passes. He had some passes that did turn into assists that were really good reads and just good decisions he made on the fly. I think he's looking more and more comfortable out there. He missed a 3 pretty badly today, but he's not like wiry. He's not doing things that are like, oh my God, he's nervous type things to do. He borderline took a charge today. It was called a charge, then they overturned the call. Like, he does seem committed to making the right play at all times, willing to put his body on the line on defense. I think that goes a long way with the Celtics. I don't think he's going to get playoff minutes. I don't think you think he's going to get playoff minutes. But I think this is the kind of stretch you need to see with a rookie who hasn't really played much and he's getting more opportunity. It should make you feel, 1, excited for Summer League, 2, excited for next season, where there may be more minutes for him to have. There may not be, but I think he's going to be ready for whatever it is that they ask of him. And one other thing about Shireman compared to some of the other young guys on this team, I think that he looks more physically ready to be out there. I think his body, of all the guys, is the most NBA ready. He doesn't look like he's fragile. He doesn't look super athletic, but he does look like somebody who can afford to take a charge, and you don't have to worry if he's all right after he gets hit. I mean, he got bowled over by Yabu in the Sixers game. Like, he's getting hit by a fucking Mack truck.
Yeah. Sounds like a very useless, generic way to phrase it, but I think it's apt in this case. Baylor just feels like he has a very good feel for the game. Like, you can just tell he knows where to be, what to do. Like, he makes the right pass. He knows where to be in a spot on defense. Motherfucker's always hustling. He will always go for the rebound. Like, he knows how to play, and I'm excited to see what that means. I've transferred my stock from Tillman to Shireman, so we'll see how that goes for him. Maybe I cursed him. I don't know. Also fun in this game, Walker Kessler got bullied a little bit. Derek White sent him to the shadow realm, and then he tried to set a screen on Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday, ran into the screen, and Walker Kessler fell over. Spent a lot of time on the ground where he probably shouldn't have been on the ground.
Got killed by Jaylen at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Tough game for Walker Kessler. And it's kind of funny because, 2 months ago, people are like, what if the Celtics traded for him? And this isn't a game that, you should watch and be like, oh, this guy sucks. Good thing they didn't trade for him. Just very unfortunate. Yeah, just an unfortunate night, I would say. Other things from the Jazz that really stuck out. They didn't play Springer. I was disappointed to see that. No wonder they lost.
Only active player who didn't play?
Yeah, well, no wonder they lost. Probably still dealing with some back stuff. Wouldn't surprise me. This is still a good win for Boston.
Svi got his ring.
Svi getting his ring was really funny because they have Al give Svi the ring at midcourt, and all the guys from the championship team are around, which is just about everybody, all huddling, saying what's up, congratulating him, whatever. And then if you go on Twitter and watch one of these clips that Jack or Noah or somebody posted, you can kind of see Shireman just hands in his pockets off to the side all alone, as he was the only guy aside from Torrey Craig who was not on the team last year.
And Torrey Craig still got in there and dapped up Svi.
Were they teammates before this?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know where they would have been
Craig,
teammates.
just one of the fellas.
Yeah,
Torrey Craig, by the way,
hang out.
you posted this, I posted this. He is an excellent bench mout guy.
Yes.
And he had a good game today, by the way. Made a couple threes.
Mm-hmm. Malik Fitz walked so Torrey Craig could run. Him and Shireman make an elite tandem on that bench. I'll say that. So it's fun to see that unfold a little bit.
Very unlikely duo.
I know. Weird, but cool and fun. So also odd not to see any Jordan Walsh minutes, I thought. But I guess they gave the opportunity.
Maybe Shireman just stepped in.
Yeah, and he looked pretty good. He didn't make any shots. He missed the 1-3 he took pretty badly, but I thought he played well. So it is what it is.
I think just to expand on that a little bit, if you think about it, who do you think, if neither one of them is making shots, is going to give you more? Who brings more to the table at this point? And I think it's Shireman. Like, I think his decision-making as a connector is really valuable. I think that is why he's getting these minutes. He's willing to put his body on the line on defense. Walsh is a good defender, but offensively, if he's not making his catch and shoot threes, I don't really know what you are hoping to get from him. Like, that's the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Shireman too. And a big part of it, unfortunately, unfortunately for Walsh, is he's just older. He's like 4 years older, even though he came in a year later. Like, he's more experienced. He knows how to play. He's played for longer, or whatever you want to call it. So it is what it is. And I don't think Walsh is out of the rotation or done or whatever you want to say it by any means. It's just, I think you got a little more from Shireman. Anyways, yeah, I think any final thoughts?
Big game Wednesday.
Big game Wednesday. Excited for the game Wednesday.
Oh, also, I think Jalen's hurt.
Probably dealing with some stuff. Yeah, he tweaked it going up on the poster, and
he tweaked it going up on the poster. He was asked about it, admitted that he tweaked it going up on the poster. Winced when he sat down, was grimacing up there quite a bit. If I had to bet, I don't think he's going to play Wednesday.
I think he'll play Wednesday. I think he will get significant rest down the stretch of the season. And I think the last, 4 games of the season where he probably doesn't play, plus the week of the play-in tournament, will do him a lot of good.
Have I turned into Scal? I think I've turned into Scal.
Maybe.
Yeah. It's like,
perhaps.
I think this guy's injured. Like, don't rush him back.
Own worst enemy. Who would have thought we'd do 30 minutes on a Jazz game?
PrizePicks helped.
Who would have thought? PrizePicks was like 2 minutes. That was not even.
Still help.
Anyways, indeed it did. But let's throw it over to the rest of the show now. All right, welcome back. Let's jump into your guys' emails. It's been a minute since we've gone to them because we didn't have time to record a full pod on Saturday. Reminder as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com. That's hbtcpod@gmail.com. Starting off with RJ. Early March is feeling a little like August. Hey, folks, maybe it's just the 2 days without a Celtics game. But with the relative stability on the seating, I'm feeling like we're looking for any news that isn't IR containing the words mallet finger, non-COVID illness, or left big toe. Ironically, the exact injury report that we have heading into the Jazz game today. Actually, Jrue's off. Drew's off.
He's back.
So Drew's, I guess, a little bit better. So have a few non-obvious questions to kick around. You know how you're told never to apply at a place where you're intern because you're seen as the person who made the coffee run instead of a talented professional. I wonder how hard it is for two-way guys to be seen as, or to stop being seen as the two-way guy. Do you need to change teams to be seen fully? Celtics fans have been showing up in big numbers on the road for the past several years. Do you think it continues when the Celtics have a downturn? How are you liking the Jrue Scout broadcast? Be well, RJ, who won't unleash draft questions until March Madness. I haven't heard a Jrue Scout broadcast in like 2 weeks, so I don't know. So it's a little hard, but I like Jrue and I like Scout. Cool. Like I have no problem with it. I don't know if you have a problem with it that you would like to share, but I don't have enough of an opinion to.
I think it feels very like podcasty. I like that Drew's like he's so different than Mike Gorman that you don't have to compare them in your head. Like you don't have to be like, this guy isn't Mike. I mean, you could do that if you want to be upset, but he's just so different in his style, and he makes fun references during the show game talks about memes and stuff and scowls the old man. And I think it really works well. Like they break each other and like they break each other's balls and stuff. And like that's real. Like they do that off the air. Like they seem to have a very good relationship. And I think that's important. So I've enjoyed the first like year and a half of it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Celtics fans have been showing up in big numbers on the road for the past several years. Do you think it continues one and if the Celtics have a downturn? Yeah. I don't think that'll change if they're good. I mean, maybe a little bit just by the nature of they're not quite as good, but I don't think it's going to like stop in at all. Like if they don't play as well. And then as far as the two-way thing, I don't think so. I think it's pretty fine. I mean, if you think about it, Sam Hauser was a two-way player. You know, Luke Cornett was, I don't know if he was a two-way, but he was in the G League for like the entire season. Emi was a two-way player last year. And so I think if you earn the opportunities to play in the regular rotation, then you earn the opportunities to stop being seen in that light. And I think we've kind of seen that unfold.
Yeah. I mean, the Celtics, like you said, have a couple examples of that, like Hauser, Luke. And that has really helped kind of normalize the jump that can be made from two-way to rotation guy. And the Celtics have been built on that. Like we saw Miami be built on that for years. Like they would just find the next heat culture guy and he would be annoying in the playoffs and you would be sitting there with your head in your hands, not believing that you just lost to them. Oddly enough, never heard the thing about the coffee run comparison as being an intern. That's how I got my first job. I was just like, hey, can I stay? And they were like, yeah. I was like, sick.
Can you what? What'd you say? Can you?
Can I stay?
Oh,
Can I like not work here?
That's funny. Thank you, RJ. I think you sent us the next one. So you're down 3 starters, question mark. Hoist more threes, even folks. That, and by that, I mean the Portland game was fun basketball. To anyone who says the 3 ball is ruining hoops, go yell at a cloud. Pritchard and Derek White made Celtics history being the first tandem to score 40 in the same game. And they made NBA history by being the only pair to sing 9 or more threes in a single game. And none of it felt forced. There was a good flow to the offense. Portland played some solid ball themselves on both ends. Thinking about it now, this is the most 80 styles of game I've seen in a long time. Even though he only made 1 bucket, this might have been Jordan Walsh's the Jordan Walsh party we've been waiting for. He played 20 solid minutes, hustling, being in the right place, and staying locked in while he was on the floor. I hope he gets some run against the Sixers. Be well, RJ.
What a fun couple of games we got with no expectations of those games being any kind of fun. Like that Portland game, Cam, Mr. T, he was targeting me on Thursday after making his return to TD Garden. He was like, damn, like kind of thought I was safe on Wednesday missing the Blazers game, and then that happens. And this is why they play all 82. This is why the NBA is where amazing happens, because you can just show up on a random Wednesday in March, no excitement at all to watch this game, and then you see history.
Indeed you do. Yeah, it was fun. Did you see Gilbert Arenas talking about the Derek White Pritchard game on his podcast?
He must have been fucking heated. He hates Peyton Pritchard.
He's a moron. Shocker. I know. Because his like cohort goes, they were the first teammates ever to score 40 in a game together. And he goes, damn, I should have passed to Twan more. And he goes into this whole thing about how Antoine Jameson had 39 and he had 40. All the comments are just like, you're a fucking idiot. He was the first pair of Celtics teammates, you dumbass. It's like,
yeah,
Jordan and Pippen did this all the time. Kyrie and LeBron did this all the time. People like
finals,
this is
yeah.
like so I found it entertaining. But thank you, RJ. Next email, Paolo Banazzi, Celtics City, Celtics World. Hi guys, I just realized that HBO is not available for subscription in Italy, and that's driving me nuts. Hopefully the documentary will be cleared for other platforms sooner rather than later. As far as I know, by looking at various social pages, the Celtics community in Italy is way bigger than anyone else, Lakers included, and it's only adding to the beautiful history of this franchise that the player holding the record for the most threes made in the game is Marcus Smart. White and Pritchard, 26 million combined this year, 35 next, are now the only Celtics in history to have made 40 apiece in a game. Different here. Can't imagine a better playoff motto than that. Celtics pride is a close second. Ciao, Paolo. That has really stuck. The different here. Like if they hadn't won, I know if they hadn't won, obviously it'd be a little different. But now that they won while they made it, that like it kind of works.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the different here at first, but I mean, it's not like my favorite one. Like I liked It's Not Luck. That was a good one. CS Rise was like kind of funny. Bleed Green was just an easy one. But if they want to change it every year, like this one's stuck and they have it on all the backboard, I mean the stanchion, they have it in the hallways. They like it, so Pretty good slogan. It's pretty cool about the Celtics community in Italy, though. I didn't know how wired through it was. Do you guys do watch parties and stuff? Do you have like a local group you're part of that you go and see people and like you guys all hang out and watch the games?
Well, it depends on if they're in the same city in Italy. Yeah.
Well, if it's like a big community though, like I'm sure there are several people in like
suppose.
whatever city.
Yeah. It's true.
Or there are like bars that will play the games or stuff.
It's better than different, or it was different years at least better than unfinished business. It's much better than that. That was
unfinished. Well, it would have been sick if they won.
If they had won, but since they didn't, it was really bad.
You know what the best part about that was? Is they had the fucking trophies in the hype video, and they hadn't won anything yet. Like, it was everybody going to the, like, 18th floor of whatever building and, like, going in there, and they were, like, with all the Larry O'Brien trophies. It's like, they didn't win. What is this? Like, this is embarrassing. I remember being so mad at that at the time when I saw it. I was like, this is a massive fumble by the social team. Or not the social team. Sorry, social team. The in-arena, whatever, production team.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Next, RJ again. Love the second night Maine basketball morning, folks. JT with the world's quietest 35-point game. That's what I like against the Delaware Bluecoats or Philadelphia Injury Sixers. Next up, here's wishing restored good health to KP for the Lakers game. Nope. I'm happy with Baylor ball and everyone yesterday. So time for a dumb question. Do either or both of you have a vote in annual NBA awards? Hell no. How about other roundtable members? Hell no. And if not, can you pat down clowns like Skip Bayless for theirs? Hell no. Be well, RJ.
I don't think Skip
definitely
Bayless
not. I don't think so. I can check if he had one last year.
Speaking of Skip Bayless, did you see the interaction between Kevin Durant and Skip Bayless on Twitter yesterday?
Yes.
So for those that did not, Skip Bayless tweeted out like a clip of him talking about KD and saying he was semi-mentally retired already, where he essentially saying he's mentally checked out of playing in the NBA, at least this season, and like Phoenix has been whatever. Durant's just like, what does this even mean? Like, we're both washed, Skip, I guess. Like, we can just kind of hang our hats on that. Durant is the best poster that there is. Like, I have so much respect for him being willing to just log on and talk shit to whoever. More guys should do that. It rocks.
It's fun. It's real fun. Skip Bayless did not have a vote last year. Stephen A. Smith did, though. Let me see. Only 2 Boston.
Gary?
Guys. Yeah.
I know for sure because Gary was the one that like didn't vote for LeBron and he wasn't
Gary
unanimous.
has a vote. Yeah, Gary has a vote. And then
is it Himmelsbach?
Yeah, Gary and Himmelsbach have a vote. Gary's MVP of that last year was fun. What
did he put?
So he had Jokic 1, but he had Brunson 2. Which I
love
suppose
Gary.
But me too. By the definition of like valuable to their team, I'm sure. Fuck it. I guess. Like I get it. There were some things that were interesting. Not for Gary in particular, but like
we just got a new RJ email like 1 minute ago. Okay.
I got it. We'll scroll over to it. Next one. Thanks, RJ. Yes, sorry. I read this. We don't have to read this on here, but Carol mentioned that people still didn't get their merch. We'll reach out to Spring. Very weird. Please update us if you don't get your merch. Like send us an email. Something's wrong. We'll contact Spring. We unfortunately don't have any, like we don't distribute it. We don't handle any of that. We literally just upload the design to them and they handle everything. So if they fuck it up, just let us know and we email them. So thank you, Carol. I got this. I will email. We appreciate you. And then let me refresh for the new RJ email. It was a bad idea then. Morning, folks. This was 2 minutes ago. The new format of the dailies is interesting. Love the video editing y'all are doing. I do miss the visual branding somewhat. Yeah, I get it at the start, but I think when you put just a clip at the very beginning, it's more likely to draw people in. Because like I don't know the actual percentages, but I bet there's at least a small percentage of people who click off when they just see a giant logo in their face for the first 5 seconds of the show. Which I get. If I'm not like already a fan of something, I might be one to click off. I also did see comments that said they were over editing, so I'll tone it down a little bit. I got a little bit excited with some of the transitions in that whole video. I was just kind of like exploring different things I could do. So excuse me, I'll tone it down. I also saw someone comment I hate your coughing, but I love the content. And
That
just,
was
like,
a
was
fire
really mean.
comment.
And
He was like, fuck you, stop coughing, and then replied to his own comment and was like, I do love the show.
and then I commented, I said, weird way of showing it. Fucking loser. Listen, man, I get it. Like, but what people don't understand is I get that I cough a lot. Like, and I'm sorry, but there's ways to like talk about it without being a dick. Like, if he had just said, hey, like, would you mind trying to mute your mic a little bit? I love the content, but like, it can be like, if you're just like a human and talk to me, like, I'll read it because I do. And obviously I do. Maybe I'd be a bit more respectful instead of just being an asshole. But
well, also you
watching.
also mute. Like, you're pretty good about it. You mute all the time.
I try, but whatever. Regardless, RJ says prior to the Lakers game, and what a fun game that was. Oh my god, I can't talk today. I saw a fair bit of traffic from Celtics fans I respect talking about the upcoming cap situation and who the Celtics should trade to get out from under it. The two most usual names, to no surprise, were Kristaps and Jrue. Because of their contract values and anticipated health decline, both make sense. The third name that popped up with Jaylen Brown, to which I say people need to step away from their bad drugs. Excuse me. Bad drugs. 3 years ago, the popular narrative was the Jays can't win together, break them up. That was a bad idea before the Celtics got to the finals 2 years out of 3 and raised banner 18. It remains a bad idea today. Their performance against the Lakers this weekend, not to mention the Cavs, Nuggets, and Thunder, show that they remain the best duo in the NBA on both ends of the court. And with them heading into their physical and developmental primes together, this is the time to build around them, period. Be well, RJ, who never understands why trade suggestions tend to be so damn dumb. I agree. I don't think trading Jaylen's the solution. I think the only reason he comes up as a third name is because of how much money he makes. Because the gap between Jrue, KP, and the next is $20 million. So if you were to trade one of the Jays, it would be a significantly more significant financial lift.
So, one, it does feel like this is like a looming thing that they're going to have to figure out, which sucks. 2, not entirely related to RJ's email, but I just can't get over it. People are like, 1, concerned, and 2, like, legitimately upset that Kristaps is missing games because he's sick. Like, we've gotten emails of people being like, are you guys concerned about Kristaps? The answer remains no. Like, he's just sick. So it's not like if he had like a knee problem, yeah, I'd be concerned. He's got the flu.
Mhm.
I had the flu. You saw me on these pods. I had my hood on all week. I was sitting here sweating. I had to miss games. Like that. If it kept me out of games and I wasn't even playing, I can understand why Kristaps is not playing. It's a motherfucker. Whatever's going around this year is a force to be reckoned with. I'm not concerned. And mind you, they're still winning. They've won, what is it, 10 out of 12 now? And I think they might have, one of the ones that they lost, he played in, it was the one in Detroit when he and the 3 other people that had rested in Toronto were just not.
They've been great. Yeah.
I'm fine. Like, let him rest. Even if he's like not sick and they're making this up, I don't care. He's not getting hurt.
And listen, like, we're gonna look at the standings in a little bit. The Celtics have the gap between the Celtics and the Knicks is now bigger than the gap between the Knicks and 4th place. Like, they're fine. They're in an okay place. And listen, dude, he's probably just really fucking sick. He's probably just really sick, which sucks. Instead of being a dick about it, maybe just have a little empathy that he's probably not feeling very good right now. So it's fine.
I am curious about what his reconditioning process will be, because we saw it take him a while to get sharp again after missing the first stint of the season with the ankle injury from the finals.
Yeah.
I'd imagine he's going to have to do something to get sharp again, just because it has been a little bit of time since he played last, but I wouldn't say I'm worried about it. It is what it is.
For sure. I agree. Next thing, let's jump over to the NBA standings here. Every time I do this, because it's right after the emails, I really want to go. And a reminder, as always, you can email like whatever about the NBA standings. I just had to I felt the urge to do it just now, and I had to swat it off, even though I still ended up talking about it. But regardless, Cavs in first place, they're going to be in first place. Celtics in second place, they're probably going to be in second place. Knicks in third, they're probably going to be in third. And then you get to the interesting part. Bucks, 17 and a half games back. Pacers are half a game behind them. Pistons are half a game behind them. They're now, 5.5 games ahead of the Hawks. That's probably going to be the top 6. So pre-jack the congratulations for the Pistons, who have played phenomenal basketball this year. I'm very impressed. Hawks, Magic, Heat, Bulls in the play-in still. Sixers are now 3.5 games out of the Bulls. Nets now 4.5 games out of the Bulls. Do you know what's leading this Bulls? Well, first, then Raptors, Hornets, Wizards.
I do.
You know, Josh Giddey, man. Josh Giddey has been unbelievable.
They just can't escape this play in purgatory. No matter what they do, they committed to a direction at the deadline. They got rid of Levine. I think they tried to get rid of Vucevic, but just didn't like whatever the return was going to be. And now Josh Giddey has said, "Watch this." He's like, "We're staying in. I'm getting some postseason burn after all." The Sixers have punted the season, like we know that. It's kind of funny that they're still within striking distance. Granted, well, I don't know whether or not to say 3.5 games is less or more between 10 and 11, because on one hand, the team in 10 is going to lose more games than a team towards the top of the standings is going to lose. But the team in 11 is going to win fewer games. So maybe it is just simply the same. Maybe it's the same. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, the Knicks have been cold. Brunson just got hurt. He's going to miss like 2 weeks with an ankle sprain, hurt himself, I think, in the Lakers game. So it's very unlikely that the Celtics are going to slip past the second seed, which is kind of good. You're going to guarantee yourself one of these weak play-in teams this year. The play-in is not scary this year. Jimmy Butler's not in there, so I don't think you have much to worry about. You will probably have the luxury of enjoying some rest. Like Tatum at the podium literally said he's going to miss games after the Lakers win on Saturday. So I would be on the lookout for that. Pistons are Pistons. They look like they are just going to be 6 or higher. They're only a game out of 4th. I would watch out for the Pistons.
I hesitate to back them in the playoffs only because that's how young teams work in the playoffs. That said, if there was a young team to perform well in the playoffs in a certain situation, I do think this Pistons team could make sense as the mold. Because, like, you think about it, I don't think any team they could play in that 3-4-5 is particularly championship gunning. The Knicks are the closest thing, and I think they have exploitable stuff that JB Bickerstaff will be smart enough to go after.
Yes.
Maybe the Bucks in there too, because Giannis is Giannis. But you think about, they got vets on the roster. They got a coach who's been in the playoffs consistently. You know, they've got an unbelievable talent leading the way in Kid Cunningham. They'll be annoying for sure. And we'll also say, from a selfish perspective, unless barring a Bulls miracle run up to the 7-8, going to Atlanta, Orlando, or Miami in the first round will be very nice. I'm thrilled. I'm very
you really
happy.
Want to get selfish, Jack? Think of it like this: Atlanta, maybe the biggest Delta base in the country. Very easy to get a flight to Atlanta. So
let's go. So it's either easy flights or Florida, baby. Let's go. Thank you. What a beautiful thing. We could have been staring down Philadelphia. Fuck that.
Who's to say that that the Pistons couldn't beat like the Pacers? Like they could end up playing the Pacers in the first round. They could. So close. Philly wouldn't be bad in a playoff series, to be honest with you. It's not that bad of a drive. Like I just hate best
the city.
Other than New York, with the best drive.
And financially, it would be the best by far because I have a friend that lives there too, so I could stay there.
Yep, I could stay with Kalen's family. It would be great.
I just despise Philadelphia, so I don't want to go there.
They have the song though, Jack.
I don't go fuck. I love the song. OKC in first place in the West, 12 games ahead of the Lakers and Nuggets, who are both 12 games back, but the Lakers have a better winning percentage. OKC is just lapping the field the way the Celtics lapped the East last year. Lakers, Nuggets, rounding out that 2-3 right there. Grizzlies only a game behind them in 4. Rockets only a game behind them in 5. Warriors have surged all the way up into that 6th seed ahead of the play-in, which is Wolves, Clippers, Kings, Mavs. Clippers just beat the Kings on a game winner last night by Kawhi, so they have solidified a little bit more breathing room in that 8 and that 7-8 game versus the 9-10. Suns are still a game and a half, or I guess only a game and a half behind the Mavs now, who have lost 5 in a row predictably. Blazers 4 games out of the play-in. Spurs 4.5 games out of the play-in, and the Pelicans and the Jazz are just hanging out.
Can't wait to see the Jazz tonight. Jazz rock. I wonder if Danny's going to make the trip. You think Danny's going to be there tonight?
If there were ever a game where he would make the trip, then this is probably it. If I had to place a little bet down, but I guess we'll have to see.
The most fun thing here to me is the Warriors. I really I've always been like, I'm not cheering for the Warriors, but they have just done me so many emotional favors by beating LeBron repeatedly. I mean, they kind of like tore all those down in 2022, but that's neither here nor there. It will be fun to see the Warriors be competitive in the playoffs. Curry is such an exciting player to watch. Their season felt like it was such a waste this year before they made the Jimmy trade. Now they've got all this life back in them. So I don't know if they're gonna get in for sure. They're still tied with Minnesota. Like there's still quite a few games left. A lot of things could slide around. But right now, you're looking at Denver, Golden State in the first round. That'd be pretty fire. It just simply would be. We'd be looking at a possible Lakers Clippers too. Like every time we look at the standings, I have to see LA in the playoffs. It's so funny that the Lakers were so bad for stretches in this season that their point differential is only plus 1.8 and they're second in the conference and have been playing really well. Be on the lookout for the Lakers to slide though, because LeBron's going to miss 1 to 2 weeks. And my big takeaway about them during the Celtics game, granted they're playing the Celtics, when LeBron wasn't on the floor, Luka looked a little lost. Like he's still Luka, and I'm sure he's going to work against all these teams. Yeah. But he did not look good when he was by himself. Like the Celtics had their way with him, especially in the first half.
Which makes sense a little. You're not used to playing with certain teams. Spacing could be a little bit weird. Defense could be a little bit weird because you're getting used to things. I will also say, not that it's like this big excuse the Lakers fans are making it out to be. I do think missing Rui Hachimura and Jackson Hayes matters in a game like that. Just like missing Kristaps matters. Like you're missing Rui, who's probably one of your best bodies to put on the Jays. You're missing Jackson Hayes, who is your best lob threat and rim protector on the other end, who's been great defensively. Like there is a balance to it. So Lakers are a good team and they deserve to be treated as such. Like they're
they don't deserve
basketball. All right. I think the Warriors are like 10-1 with Jimmy too, so they're unbelievable.
You want to talk about like win-loss stats with a certain player? Ready for this one? Minnesota Timberwolves. Have you seen this?
No.
10-0 in their last 10 with Julius Randle. Tough.
Damn right.
Very tough for me.
Wow. How about that? Speaking of the Warriors, Stephen Curry is joining Davidson in the same role that Woj did at St. Bonaventure, correct? Am I right?
Not entirely correct, but very similar. Woj is the actual GM of St. Bonnie's. Steph Curry is the assistant GM for the basketball program at Davidson. Now,
I see.
The official report from Shams reads, Warriors Stephen Curry has accepted a role with his alma mater, Davidson College, as an assistant general manager for basketball programs. University officials tell ESPN Curry becomes the first active player in U.S. pro major sports to take an administrative job with NCAA. So, this is definitely going to be in name only. This man is not doing any paperwork. He's not doing any heavy lifting.
Yeah.
What they're going to do is say, if you come here, like, Steph Curry will be like, hey, you should go to Davidson. And that's his job. That is his only job. His only responsibility is to like probably show up to recruitment every once in a while if they're really going after somebody. It'd be tough to say no to Steph, especially if he's technically involved with the program. Like he'll probably show up to talk to the team every once in a while if possible. But the man's still playing 82 games. He's still flying all over the country. Like he's still busy.
I mean, part of it could also be, it's not exactly the same, but I know James Harden donates a ton of money in NIL. Like, so he could probably help with NIL to have Steph Curry on the staff.
He's paying Davidson so he can have a position at their school. Like that instead of them paying him, he's paying them money.
Gotta. Also, your Pistons are getting suited up, Sam.
The Pistons. You want to talk about aura? Look no further than the Detroit Pistons. So this was on the Pistons subreddit. I saw this last week, and we didn't have a Saturday show. Malik Beasley posted on an Instagram story of him getting fitted for a suit. Apparently, noted Sixers locker room cancer Tobias Harris is continuing his trend of being the worst by buying all of his teammates suits for the playoffs so they can look sharp when they show up to beat the Knicks in the first round. It's going to be fire. They're all going to be looking nice. The boys are buzzing in Detroit. They're playing good basketball. They've won 7 out of 10. Everybody loves the Pistons, like universally on Twitter. Big league-wide NBA heads are like, this is one of the most fun teams to watch. It is. I was a year off on my prediction of them being back. This is kind of what I expected. Not too much of this, but like this direction was what I expected last year. I thought they'd get in the play-in this year. They overachieved. They may even get home court advantage in the first round. It's not out of the realm of possibility. They're a fun team. I think Detroit fans deserve this. I hate when people say that fans deserve stuff, but if there's anybody that deserves it, it's them. They've been beaten down, broken. They thought they were getting Wemby. Wemby ends up with the Spurs. The Pistons fall all the way to 5. Luckily for them, that pick is looking really solid with Asar Thompson, who has become...
The Thompson twins are both nasty.
Yes, they both turned out excellent. And Asar is fitting in very well with Detroit. Still needs to learn how to shoot a little bit better to be fully effective. He's a motherfucker on defense. We saw him. I mean, he's a motherfucker with the ball in his hands.
If Scoot like turns it around in Portland a little bit, that top 5 is going to be like, holy shit.
What a draft, dude.
It's going to be one of them ones, bro. That
Need to see Brandon Miller
fun.
stay healthy too.
Yeah, but he's good when he's healthy. How many players have to come and go in Philly before they realize the real problem?
To be honest with you, I think the Tobias Harris problem was just the salary figure. Like if the relationship was not soured and he like took a pay cut to come back, like whatever he makes in Detroit, if he was making that in Philly, people would be fine. Like Paul George has not been any good. Like Paul George has underachieved significantly. A lot of that has to do with his money. A lot of that has to do with his name too. And there's an expectation that comes with that. Somebody who's been an all-star guy for a lot of his career, who's been a part of all NBA teams, like has been one of the best guys. He was in the MVP conversation like 2017, 2018. He was very good for the Thunder.
Philly has made a regularity of paying guys a lot of money without a real plan to maximize their talent.
They're just like, yeah, stand there while Embiid does his stuff. And Embiid hasn't even played this
Harris, Paul George, even fucking Ben Simmons, if you really want to talk about it. Like, they just pay people and say, yeah, fuck it. You're pretty good, but Embiid's the best, so we're going to give him the ball. But we'll pay you a lot to, like, be here because you're good. We just won't do anything to help you out and be better. Good. Let's go. Let's try
I'm so
now.
curious about the Philly situation. There's part of me that's rooting for them to lose their pick, but I ultimately don't want it to go to OKC. Because I just don't think OKC needs any more help. So we're in a rock and a hard place here in Celtics land. But like they've got the Embiid contract is now turning into a bad contract too. Like I'm sure if you polled all the GMs, they'd be like, damn, like I'm so happy I'm not paying that guy right now because he just can't stay on the floor and he's making so much money. Him and Paul George are eating up all your salary. Maxey is like the best contract. Who knows if Yabusele will stick around? He's been so good this year compared to what I think people expected. I'm sure he's going to get a reasonable pay bump from somebody. Somebody's going to want him. That team is a disaster. Their best bet is next season. Embiid's healthy. The team sucks, but Embiid plays well, so they can just be like, yeah, we just want to trade him. Because you need to be able to sell at a reasonable price. Like you can't trade him now. You're going to get nothing. You're not going to get anything compared to what you could get.
Yes, exactly. Last thing before the ret list. Have you seen the Jokic SGA discourse, etc., going on
for the MVP? Who should win MVP? The MVP conversation.
Yes.
I've seen some of it. I was listening to Simmons and Russillo this morning. Kobe and Shaq of basketball podcasts, aside from us, of course.
Have you seen how it has devolved on Twitter? I wanted to look on Twitter, but Twitter's down right now, so I cannot.
Not to that degree, no.
It is just basically people are saying like, oh, you know, Jokic is a better player, but SGA hits his free throws, so he should win the MVP. And listen,
how many MVPs does LeBron have? Does LeBron only have like 2?
4.
Oh, he has 4. Okay, never mind. Well, I mean, LeBron, noted free throw shooter.
Should probably have more than 4. Even as you as somebody who doesn't like LeBron.
Oh, he's probably should. The MVP is such a weird award because people just get sick of it. Like, if Jokic wins, he's going to win his 4th MVP, and like, it's hard to argue against his stats and
deserved. Yeah, it's just team. You want to give other good players in league credit, but when a guy dominates in a perfect situation like this, like it's hard. SGA is probably going to win it.
Sort of sick, tangible award that like they can give out to guys like at a playoff game. Like for being first team all MVP, all NBA. Like I think that should matter, or like it should be like a cooler recognition.
Yes, because it's it's more fair. Like in all NBA, first team's gonna be weird this year. Like it's gonna be funky. Like only 4 slots I would say are pretty solidified. Like I think Jokic, Giannis, SGA, Tatum are pretty like those guys deserve it, and you go from there. And there'll be a fourth one that is honestly probably gonna be LeBron. it's probably just gonna be LeBron.
Are you gonna play enough games?
Let me look. That's a good question. If he does, he's at 58 right now. So probably.
So what is he at? It's 65.
7 more.
Yeah. 7.
Yeah. He might not because he's gonna be out.
He's gonna be out 1 to 2 weeks. And if I'm the Lakers, I don't want to rush him back. Why would you? But there's also a part of this where I think LeBron would want to hit that mark so he can be recognized because he has had a very good season. I mean, he was excellent in the game Saturday before he went out.
If he's out 2 weeks and comes back, like let's say March 26th, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left. He'll probably hit 65.
Yeah, he should hit it. I'm sure he's gonna want to.
And in like to his credit, he's putting up 25, 8, and 8 this year on 52, 38 splits on the second best team in the West.
MVP numbers, like
Fair.
when he was the MVP.
Exactly.
The numbers in the NBA have changed a bit with scoring and the pace of the game and everything, but
it's probably fair. Regardless, I just think the conversation. Did you see the free throw that Shai got against the Nuggets the other day against Russ? Did you see the clip?
No.
Because Twitter's down. I want to show you the clip. I'm pissed off.
Let me see if I can find it on Reddit. I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna look on Reddit. SGA Russell free throws. Maybe I can find that on YouTube too. I really want to show you this because I got it.
Okay.
This
piss me off.
Yeah, it pissed me off, and it takes a lot. These are the free throws that SJ got against the Nuggets the other day. Here you go. They'll show the replay too, so if you don't catch it fully in real time, just give it a sec. Just wait a second.
Did he jump to his right?
Just wait a second. This is one of the worst calls I've ever seen in a basketball game. Like when people say there's a problem in the NBA, this is the problem. Look at this.
Oh, that's nothing.
It unfathomably bad. Like this is one of the worst calls I've ever seen. No exaggeration.
Russ got regardless.
Listen, I think voting the guy who's on one of the best teams in basketball, 53 wins right now, probably gonna get close to 70. 33, 5, and 6. Yeah, fair. And for what it's worth, he's taking 9 free throws a game. It's not even the most we've seen in the last 5 years. People got to calm down. Like people really have to chill the fuck out with the free throw thing.
Side note from that clip, it would be pretty cool if OKC leaned into that uniform color scheme for a rebrand.
Cool. Yes.
I like the black and orange yellow combination. I think it works. I think their actual jerseys kind of suck, so they should think about that.
But going back to the Jokic Shai thing, Jokic averaging 29, 13, and 10.5. It's hard not to vote for that guy. Do you know, like it's just you get put in a tough spot. I'd probably give it to Jokic, but I don't think I'm as upset as the people who are like up in arms that it might go to Shai because I think
what's funny about all of this is when you think of Jokic, you're like that guy. If you take him off the Nuggets, they're fucked. Like they have like Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray is like he's fine. Like he's a good second player. He's a good Robin. But if he's the guy, like good luck. Like it's not really going to work for you. SGA is almost a similar story. OKC is a much deeper team. Like let's not pretend that they don't have good players. They do. They're very deep. They have a lot of guys committed to playing their role. But like the big question mark with OKC, if there is one, it's like, well, how do they handle the non-SGA minutes? Like in the playoffs, like are they going to be able to, their team's going to be able to funnel the ball away from him and make other guys beat them? And is it going to be effective enough when he's not creating everything? So both of them have that same leg to stand on, which makes it somewhat respectable if they gave it to Shai, just because how well OKC has played and he's been the guy and he's helped everything work. But Jokic is just putting up monster numbers. So I don't really know how you dispute that, how for the rest of his career you're going to not just keep handing him MVPs because it's just become the norm. Like it's like when we did the Tatum video about nobody cares that he's playing well. Like I kind of don't care when Jokic has a 30-20-20 game. I do care. It's cool.
30-20-20 is fucking insane.
But it's just like, oh, yeah, like I believe it. Like if you said, like pick like almost any other guy in the NBA, if you said 30-20-20, you'd be like, yeah, you're making up stuff. Jokic, you're like, yeah, whatever, another day.
Russ is the only one that got close. He did 20-20-20 like a couple of years ago, which is also crazy. He's a guard.
Russ.
The difference is Shai on the floor. Thunder have a 16.8 net rating off the floor, 2.51. Jokic on the floor. Nuggets have an 11.3 net rating off the floor. They have a minus 10.6.
The polarity in the Jokic on off is always hilarious.
I will also say Jokic has won almost. This would be his 4th MVP. It's been amazing. Whatever. This is Thunder's 2nd year as a good basketball team, and Shai already has more All-Star teammates than Jokic ever has.
Jokic never had one.
Exactly. I think so, right? I mean, unless you like Russ, like has been an All-Star, but
no, like
currently with him, yes.
The Nuggets have never had multiple All-Stars with Jokic.
Correct. So there's levels. Regardless, I'm fine with either getting it. I'd probably vote for Jokic. If I might vote for SGA. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I think it's close enough where either guy gets it. It's fine. Rat list, Sam. What do you got for me?
Rat list is Twitter. It's down.
Yeah.
Sucks that it's down.
Yeah.
I opened up my work laptop today, which for those that don't know, I bring my work laptop with me to the Celtics games because it is far lighter than my laptop that I'm on now. It's much easier to carry. And I was like, did they fucking ban Twitter for all of us at work? Like, can I not do this anymore? Can I not load the site? I was like, that's gonna fuck me if I go to the game tonight and I can't get on there. But no, Twitter's just down. A lot of people are pissed because today is like the first day of NFL free agency.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck about the NFL. But if this was like July 1st and it was happening with NBA free agency, I would be in shambles. Like absolute disaster, worst case scenario. What a mess. Sucks not to have Twitter, man. I spend so much of my time on Twitter. It's probably not good, but you just gotta like laugh, see the memes. For some people, it's see news or see stats, but me, it's just absolute brain rot every time I go on there.
Yes. I have a funny thing as my first rat list. So it's very random, and this is not like a girl I've like seen yet, but a Hinge prompt that I saw that I thought this it'll make sense.
Not what I thought this was.
Hinge prompt that I saw that was funny. It's the one thing that you should know about me is that I played geography games for fun.
Oh, new show guest.
I hit it with just the GeoGuessr question mark. I should hit bang. And I
hope the Wi-Fi allows us to play GeoGuessr at the Garden tonight. I think it will because there's not going to be as many people there.
Yes, would be.
I missed it. I was so sad. I wasn't even able to connect to the stream on Saturday. I was just like on and off in the stream. Poor Jack had to do the PrizePicks on his own. It's all his fault that we didn't win.
I was there, we would have won. I was getting pissed.
Oh, it's tough because you're not in the tab, so you can't see if I'm frozen. I completely understand.
I kept asking you, like, I know.
Next time I might just walk over and hang out and be like, we sit and be on the same screen.
I guess, yeah. I don't know if I have any rat lists. I haven't done much lately. I went to the golf sim yesterday. It was fucking terrible, but it was fun, so it's fine. I had one of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had. It was very yummy.
I was at the golf sim.
Yeah, it was very random, but it was good.
Noticing. I'm noticing. Rat list is I hate the club, dude. I hate the club. Did I bitch about this before I did it? So on Friday, like my girlfriend had her birthday party and she likes to go out and dance. So couldn't really be like, I'm not going. So at 12:30, I departed from where I was staying instead of going to bed and went and stood in the basement with a bunch of people I didn't know, with music blasting, with my jacket on because I didn't want to leave it at the door, just sitting there. Oh man, I despise it. I said this to her, there's no reason to go to the club if you're not single. No reason at all. Like the biggest, like I should be sleeping. You got to give me credit. I didn't complain the whole day. Didn't complain. Knew it was happening. I didn't say no. I didn't give her a hard time. I just accepted my fate. And I stood there as everybody moved around because I did not want to start sweating at that hour.
Sure. Fair. I get it. We got our new book club book. I don't have any like real rallies. I just have shit that's happened in my life lately.
What's the book?
I got spun on the wheel again. I also got spun on the wheel at family dinner, so I have to plan that too. So it's been just a hellish week for me having to do stuff. I haven't.
What if you had family dinner in Rhode Island and I came?
They would not go to Rhode Island.
They should. People don't talk enough about how great Rhode Island is.
This is our book. It's a big one. It's Cloud Atlas. It was written in like.
They even have the title on the cover.
Oh, I took off the. It was like one of these, but I just didn't want to put this. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard good things. The concept is like it is 6 different characters spanning from like early 1700s, maybe 15, whatever, and then the last character is like in a post like apocalyptic something like way distant future, but they're all like connected somehow. I don't know. I've heard it's really good. It's like a very well like highly revered book of like the century or something silly. So I'm excited to read it. But new book dropped. That's what I'm reading.
Ratlist is fucking dusty basketball courts. So I played basketball yesterday, the regular Sunday run. It's always fun to play. Love to see everybody. I was like so annoyed because it was so slippery. You can't even have fun. Like I was worried I was going to tear a muscle or pull a muscle because I was having to like use too much of them rather than the traction of my shoes to stop myself. You can't cut. You can't make quick moves. How do these places let the floors get so dusty? I'm about to be an old man. Like these kids like get paid to like watch the thing. Go mop the floor. You're getting paid.
Yeah. That's all I got. I don't have anything else. I'm boring today. I ain't got shit.
Yeah, I think that's it for me too. I was trying to think if there was anything else. No.
Cool. In that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all the time. Take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We're here every single day talking about the C's. New pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up the morning after each game, and other videos are on the channel in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find us streaming pregame, half hour before each tip-off. We just talked about it. We'll play some GeoGuessr. We'll do some prize picks. We'll take your questions in the chat. We'll have a good time. Come hang out. Roundtable. Hoping to be back later today, as it is Tuesday as you hear this. I actually need to make people RSVP, so I know who's going to be on Roundtable this week. But should be around 7 p.m. That's my guess. Come hang out on the channel. It'll be on Twitter, too, from Jack and I, and whoever else is on there will probably share it. You can find us on Spotify and Apple. All pods and recaps are up there, so if you just want the audio versions, go ahead, follow. They'll go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Tell us what you're looking for down the stretch of this season as the Celtics wrap their homestand against OKC on Wednesday. They'll be going on the road. A lot of weak teams on the schedule coming up, so got to have something to look out for. hbtcpod@gmail.com. The socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's name of the pod. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's Jackson NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance. That's it for us.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.
That is bogus. These guys are ridiculous.